Hello, everybody. Is it working? It's been a bit funny just then. Get out of here, Dire Avenger. Hello, Russell Edgar. Hello, Mark. Hello, Theristis. Hello, Mikey's Wargaming. Good evening to you, Philip Eagles. Hello, Marcos010. Good evening, Christopher Harkness. Good evening, Russ Matthews. No, it's not working. Oh, dear. Good evening, Chewy Zero. I'll try and... Is it working? Can someone tell me it's working, please? Can you see me all right? Hello, Dave. Good evening to you, Fabian de Ceres. Hello to you in Norway. Oh, you're taking the pee. Haha. Excellent. Thank you. You got me already. We're 2 minutes in. Yes. Awesome. I'm glad it's working. It was just initially being a bit weird because it was trying to stream out at 1080 and I had to quickly swap it out down to 720 because I can't do 1080. It would be a juddery horrible mess. We can't do that, unfortunately, at the moment. As some of you may know, we are currently trying to fix that by doing a little bit of fundraising, and I will be talking about that a little bit later in the stream because we've got some cool stuff that we're going to be doing. Not starting it tonight, but we're going to be doing it very, very soon. And yes, we're here. We're going to be doing some hobby. We haven't done this for a few weeks, which is sad because I love doing this, but I've been unwell. I've not been able to do it for various other reasons, and I'm glad to be back. I'm back, baby. Here we are. We're streaming. We're live. We're good. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all excited. And as I may have alluded to in the description, I can't remember what I wrote. I need your help to decide what it is that we're going to be doing tonight. You do have a number of choices. We've got a slightly different camera setup that we're trying as well. We're using a 3x3 telephoto lens. So the camera's further away, but you should get a closer picture. So for example, if I was to paint something like Morgan Ra, that should be really crystal clear. You should be up nice and close. You see? Please not naked painting again. No, we're not doing that one just for a while. That one happens on other websites. Similarly, for example, if we were doing something like GoTrek, and this video is coming this week, should be nice and close, nice and crystal clear. Should be is the operative term. So again, slightly different camera setup. When are you releasing the Emperor's Champion? That video has been edited today. That video will be out tomorrow. So it will be Emperor's Champion tomorrow, and then this guy on Saturday is what we're doing. That's when we're going to be doing that. I've shot the B-roll for him today. I'll grab him so you can have a look at him on this setup because it's cool. Oh, here he is. Boy looks real good on the tube. So yes, this video will be out tomorrow. You'll be able to see it. Really fun. Really cool. Little bit of video, that one. So, tonight, what are we going to do? You may have noticed in the background. Here, let me see if I can... No, go this way. No longer is the pile of paints in that corner where I sneak off onto the side to grab the things that I need. The pile of paints are behind me. As you can see, this is as a consequence of a lot of hard work last night. There was There has been some DIY done. There's been some rearranging done. We have the new studio. I'm just going to turn this chair around because the pile of sprues on that chair are for later when we talk about some specific thing. So when we're going to be doing, all of the filming now is going to take place back here, which is really cool. We've got these lights now hooked up to this remote so they can turn off and on in a moment's notice, like that. If they're on, they quite nicely balance the light, I've noticed, just there. If I turn them off, it's all front ways, so I get massively overexposed. That's interesting. We're figuring it out live, guys. Secret sexy sprues. They are secret sexy sprues. It's a pile of Space Marines. There is a lot of Space Marines just there. But yes, 3rd edition Space Hulk Terminators. Unfortunately, I don't have some 3rd edition Space Hulk Terminators. I do have a Terminator kit somewhere, but it's not in any capacity with which to be able to do anything. Your choices tonight. Let's have a look at the pile. Your choices tonight include some Fire Warriors. Finishing off some Custodies. I could build some toys. I've got lots of toys to build. I could do a Grey Knight. It's your choice, guys. Stephen Wong is here. Hello, Stephen Wong. Hello to you, sir. I'm glad you could catch a stream. That guy you know. Welcome, welcome. We've got to vote for a Grey Knight. Any more Eldar? There's going to be loads of Eldar to come. As you can see, these guys are poking their way in through the bottom. There's going to be tons of Eldar that's going to be happening. We're going to be doing all of the Aspect Warriors. We're going to be doing the Avatar. We're going to be doing Baharoth. We're going to be doing Asurman, I think. There's tons of Eldar coming, but none of it's here. It will be here soon. So you keep an eye out because it's on its way. Shining Spears, they're going to be done as well. So yeah, there's plenty of Eldar content on its way, but it needs to get here because I didn't get it early. Fire Dragons. I don't have the Fire Dragons. I will have them. Which Custodies do you have to paint? Well, so that's an interesting choice. We have a Shield Captain that I started but didn't finish. We have a Custodian. We have some Custodian Guard that are quite far along, or we have some Custodians that are not. They're only primed. So you can either go right back to the beginning, one stage along, or watch me do highlighting for a couple of hours. So yes, that's the choice for Custodies. Have you washed your Forge World Custodies ready for building? I haven't yet, no. There's been a shocking amount of organisation that has happened here. And it is now all in one place, and it will be ready for washing this weekend, I hope. Because all of the bases are... I've finally found a sprue. That was part of it. Grey Knight. A lot of people asking for some Grey Knights. Hot tub stream. I'm not washing Forge World in a hot tub with me. That would be awful. That's how parts get lost. Get in the sink. I don't have a sink up here. That's one of the things I'm missing. It's one of the things that would be very useful to have up here would be a sink. Either a golden banana or a Grey Knight. Okay. Are you getting the Black Templar Combat Patrol? I'm not going to be getting the Black Templar Combat Patrol, no. The reason being is that we've done now Helbrecht, Grimaldus, and the Emperor's Champion. And I'm pretty certain we've done how to paint... Yeah, no, we have. We've done how to paint Black Templar Space Marines. And there's various different ways of doing that. So now that that's all covered, probably won't get a hold of that about the box as well. A Grey Knight could be cool. Right. So we do have one. I'm saving one for a video, which will be the guy with the sword. But we could paint this guy, who will be a purifier. Any plans for Nighthaunt guides in the future? I have a built black coach staring at me and scared to start. Do you have plans for a Malagurst Contrast Plus? I'll vote for Grey Knights in the meantime. I would like to do Malagurst. I think Malagurst would be quite fun. I will see if I can get a hold of Malagurst, because that would be quite cool to add a Sons of Horus color scheme to the channel. I will let me put it on my list. That guy, you know. Malagurst. I always have the list open when we go to these. There we go. He's on the list. Any plans for Nighthaunt guides? Yes, we have the Arena of Shades box coming, and I believe I will be painting the Scripta Mortis. And I would like to do the Drowner guy, but that is entirely dependent on Alice and whether or not she wants me to do it. I was a bit late to the stream. What are the options to vote? Well, we've narrowed it down so far. Higgis. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. HGIS. We've got a Grey Knight here. This one's a Purifier. And then you have a choice of which Horus Heresy character do you want to paint next the most, and why is it Sigismund? I'd like to do Sigismund. Could you do a Shadow Tau for the Shadow Tau mech suit? What's a Shadow Tau? Oh, the stealth guys, like these ones. We've got Grey Knights, and then you have a choice of, where is he? Oh, he's over there. If it's Custodes, we can either do on the Custodes front, I can either continue with this guy who's just had his gold applied, I can start a new Custodian, or I can finish off these guys, or at least kind of get some progress on the go with these guys. Because these ones are nearly there. They're just a couple of shades and a couple of highlights away from being done. That's your choice. So if it's Custodes, then you have to choose which one of those you want to see me do. Or if it's Grey Knights, we do this guy. I'm happy with either. I would like to do Sigismund. I want to do the entire of the character series, let's be real. Yeah, it seems like the Grey Knights have it. Okay. We'll do the Grey Knight. So, all of my paints are back here now, which means I have to make sure that my trousers are pulled up properly. Highlighting takes too much concentration for a chatty stream. Go Grey Knight. Yeah, okay, fair enough. All right, Grey Knight. Here he is. I'll grab the painting handle. We will grab this. In answer to the question about doing things like a ghost kill, yes, I would like to do a ghost kill, and I believe I have one somewhere to do. No, that's way too far down. That's going to ping off as soon as I apply any pressure whatsoever. All right, there we go. There's a painting handle, and so this is the recipe that we've got for the done Grey Knights. There we go. So they're pretty cool. I am going to be doing how to do these blades, because I have another Grey Knight who's primed. He's over here. This one. So he's a Strike Marine. But for the sake of not having to build and prime another Grey Knight, I'm not going to be doing this one tonight, but you will get this in a video, and it will be very soon, especially with this one, if we can get this one done tonight in 2 hours. So yeah, on that, the first colour that we need is Grey Knight Steel. Do you prime with an airbrush? No, I prime with rattle cans. I should prime with an airbrush, and I probably will one day when they produce Grey Seer Air, because as much as there are equivalents, they're also not quite right. And also Grey Seer Spray, it's just really nice. I really like Grey Seer Spray. Okay, so Grey Knight Steel, where are you? You are over here. We require Grey Knight Steel. We require that. And we need a brush of some description. Probably this one. Or this one. They will do. They'll do. Yes. Oh my goodness me, I wasn't even looking. Thank you so much, buddy, for the donation. That's incredibly kind of you. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. That will go straight into the fund of the upgrade project. Oh, that's so very kind of you. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Anything for Daddy Hipster. Oh, this Grey Knight Steel. It's old paint. Has it mixed properly? No, it's still a bit purple. I always like to wrap it on my knee when it's quite old. Just get it moving a little bit more. Because once you just kind of get it moving, you're kind of able to rescue it. So that's what I'm doing here. Can't lift my knee up any higher. Yes. And then we're just rocking the camera all over the place. Right, that should be. Yeah, look at that. That's much better. Goodness sake. Grey Seer Primer smells nice. Yes, it does. Wraithbone smells nice as well. This paint's not going to stay open. I can just feel it. Do you ignore the weather and just prime anytime? No, I don't. Oh my goodness, Fabian. Thank you so much. That's so very kind of you. That is one. Oh, don't do this to me, guys. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Again, immediately, it will go straight into the pot. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. Right. Let's dump this out of there. Do you spray can to prime or airbrush? I use a spray can. So I don't ignore the weather and just prime anytime. I used to, because what I used to do is I used to take a massive cardboard box, an enormous cardboard box, and I used to go into my kitchen. This is when I lived in Croydon, and I used to switch the extractor fan on, and open the window and close the kitchen door, and then what I would do is I would prime into the box. Right, so first paint going on is Grey Knight Steel, and it's quite a. I find it's a nice paint, but it's a little temperamental sometimes. The colour's really nice, but sometimes it just doesn't want to cover, and I think that might be because I got a slightly dodgy pot. I mean, it works just fine, but it can be a little inconsistent. But no, to finish answering the question, if it is raining or it has been raining, I will always wait at least an hour after rainfall, because you've no idea how kind of much residual moisture there is in the air. In terms of the heat outside, you know, if it's too hot, you don't really want to prime, but like just kind of do it under the shade and try and keep the can reasonably cool, because you don't want to leave it underneath the sun, because that's a problem. But if it's cold out, what you can do is you can get a bucket of water, or even your sink if it's nearby where you prime, and just fill it up with warm water and just pop the can in that. Don't submerge the can, but just pop the can in there. And let it kind of heat up, and then give it a good shake, then pop it back in. Again, don't submerge it. And that just keeps the can warm, so it keeps the paint nice and, well, keeps it kind of smoother, and it doesn't start to kind of solidify or freeze up or anything like that. So that's my tip for when it's cold. And when it's warm, when it's too hot, just, you know, kind of, if you've got an air conditioning unit or whatever, you can use that, but just kind of try and not expose it to the open sun, because that can be a little bit rough. Hello, just dropping in. Quick question: does contrast work better with satin surface than matte? Got some rattle cans which I've struggled with. I've come online shaking can and clapping. I have found that it does work pretty well over a satin finish, which is kind of what Thingy, Gracie and Wraithbone kind of give it. It's not gonna not work over matte. It's just when it's over a matte spray, it might just kind of be a little bit kind of, the paint can kind of sit on it a little bit. But if it's, you definitely don't want gloss, because if it's too glossy, the paint just kind of runs around. It kind of gets out of control. Ultimately, it should work over any primer. It just depends on the kind of the consistency of your primer. You want that to be nice, and you don't want it to be too kind of bitty or gravelly, which, you know, can happen if the primer is not shaken enough properly, or you kind of spraying right down into a enclosed area. And that's one of my other tips for priming, is you do not kind of, you want it to kind of have a lot of air for being primed in. So if you always kind of prime into, if you're going to go for a top-down spray, like how we've got the camera like this, you don't want to put it in a small box, because what happens is you spray in, and then all of it just kind of starts to furl around it. You want to kind of on an open plane. If you've got a really, really big box, you can do it in there, but I always would recommend trying to do it in an open area, because, you know, you really don't want the stuff that you spray on. You want the stuff that you spray onto the model to stay on there, but you don't want the stuff that, you know, is kind of missing the model to kind of float into the air and then settle on the model, because that's kind of how you can end up with a grainier finish. And that's happened to me in the past by trying to spray into a box that was too small for the model that I was spraying in. A how to prime video, yes. I did film a video that was about primers, and I watched it back the other day, and I thought it was pretty good, but it was out of date because a couple of other primers had been released. So I might revisit that and do a proper one, including the actual how to prime bit, because, you know, that was the bit I didn't do in that video, which I think was probably quite valuable. I'll see if I can get that done sooner rather than later, because I'm sure I've got stuff that I need to prime. Oh, no, I've always got stuff that I need to prime, but, you know. Yes. Yes. Get that one out sooner rather than later. Need to find my bucket. So we're just getting this all over, and we're not doing it on the helmet, because as I mentioned before, he's a purifier and they have white helmets. He's quite a compact guy, this one. And something I've noticed very recently is that despite the fact that models have gotten a lot more detailed, they've actually gotten a lot more easier to paint as well. And that, I mean that in terms of like the maneuverability of your brush, because the Dire Avengers, the recipe's lovely, And it's very simple. They've got a very, very simple color palette. You know, it's blue. Nope, what we're doing. It's blue, black, and gold, really, and a bit of white. But one of the main challenges with painting them is, because it's an older model, they're very cramped. And because they're very cramped, it means the detail is harder to get to. And with the detail being harder to get to, and it's an older model, they're just very... They're very tricky. They're very, very tricky things. So it's interesting with these guys because these aren't that old, and I can definitely feel a difference between this and the Dire Avengers, but he still feels quite cramped. Not like a Primaris Marine, which feels a lot more open and flowing as a model. It's just a lot easier to kind of negotiate your brush around. It's obviously not impossible because I'm doing it right now before you, but that needs to be painted silver. Doobie-doo. Now there are some areas on him that we're not painting silver because when we come to do our shading and then our layer, that's when we're going to pick them up. And the reason for that is you don't want this armor color to be the same on, for example, the mechanical bits. Now I know I've just done the vent there on that backpack, and that was only just because, well, I've done it now, so I might as well finish off the other bit so as not to confuse myself later. But so for example on that demon hammer, we don't want to color it in with this color because we want it to be a different silver. Same for the storm bolter. Now you could do it the same color if you wanted to, but I think having a couple of different silvers on there, and not from a multitude of different colors, because obviously we've got slightly different shades as well that can change the makeup of it, but for now it is just the armor that we're doing. And I've probably already said that. I'm just trying to be the best streamer in the world by keeping talking the entire time. Whilst I do this, I'm also trying to keep an eye on the monitor up there so that I know that I'm staying in shot, which I think I am. So it looks to me like all of the silver is done, so we just need to sit and let it dry for a couple of minutes, which means we can sit and talk. No tunes tonight. Can you not hear them? Oh, there are tunes. They should be there. I'll turn them up a little bit. Good evening to you as well, Mr. 5 Minute 40k, the other boss man. Hope you are well and enjoying the stream. Though I imagine some... Oh, hang on, I've missed it. Well, hello, Holy Diver. Can't afford to pay too much right now, but I figured I'd throw something your way, even if it isn't a lot. Can't wait to finish my custodies using your scheme. Keep up the excellent work. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much for the 10. That is... It's more than I would ever expect, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot well to me. That's very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Okay, I've come back now. When I prime my dogs bark because of the rattling. It's funny. Oh, I see. When I prime. That's one of those eat, shoots, and leaves type situations. When I prime my dog's barks. How'd you prime a dog's bark? That's an impressive skill. I really like the Grey Knights, but I'm not keen on all the silver. Is there an alternate colour scheme, or would that make me a heretic? I think painting them grey, just a grey, really works as well. Can you hear the tunes now, Alex? I've said good evening to you, Mr. 5 Minute 40k. Compact and muscular like corned beef. Like a can of Spam. I see. The paint that I used then, Chewy, was Grey Knight Steel. Are these the Grey Watch? They are the Grey Watch. The Grey Knight's Watch. Good evening, Senpai. Welcome back. Is this a new commission? No, this is part of the Hexfire box, which I have had on pause for so long, and I'm going to be finishing it as quickly as possible. So we're painting this as the stream's choice tonight. We're going to be doing a video on how to paint this guy to go alongside the what's his name, Castellan Crow, and I've got a Dread Knight. You might be able to see just there. It might be a little bit too small. I'm going to be doing a video on how to paint the Dread Knight as well. So you're going to get a couple of videos from the Grey Knight. And then, of course, we've got the Zinch side as well for Mr. 5 Minute 40k. So we're going to get that done as well. Zinch? I mean, what are they called? Thousand Suns. Good evening to you, Emily. Hope you are well. I'm very glad to be back. What do you think of the Death Watch? I love the Death Watch. I'm a big fan of the Death Watch. I've painted a lot of Death Watch in my time, and no one can ever convince me to paint a Death Watch Watchmaster ever again. And Chris will find that very funny, because he knows that I've painted like 5 or 6 Death Watch Watchmasters in my time. I've painted a lot of Death... It's the one model I've painted more than anything else that doesn't need to be painted more than once. You only need one, but I've painted like 5. And I will never do it again. You're having a problem painting the Death Watch? Or the Death Watch Watchmaster? No, you are not the only person who loves Age of Sigmar. I love Age of Sigmar, but in fact... I think you'll find this interesting, Mr. Holy Diver and Mr. HGIS. I'm just going to call you Giz or Higgs. I'm going to call you Higgs. So one of the things I want to do in aid of this fundraising thing that I'm doing at the moment is over in the corner, which you can't see right now. In fact, I mean, no, I'm not going to dismantle the camera. Over in the corner, what you can't see right now is there is a Sylvaneth army. There is a 2,000 point Sylvaneth army just sat over there. It is 3/4 built. 3/4 built, and there is just 10 Spite Revenants and like 6 Kurnoth Hunters left to build on it. Is it Alice in the Corner? It's not Alice in the Corner. There's a 2,000 point Sylvaneth army sat over there. And I think I can paint that in 24 hours. I think I can paint a Sylvaneth army in 24 hours. I believe it's possible, and I believe I can do it, and I believe I shall attempt to do this. So, one of the things we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks' time, and I need to kind of just figure out the tech. I need to borrow something from a friend of mine to do it. But there's a couple of things I need to figure out, but I want to do a 24-hour live stream where we try and paint a Sylvaneth army in a day, in 24 hours. I believe it's possible, and to a high standard as well. Not to like a fully, line highlighted level, but no, 24 hours in 24 hours, Andrew. Craig O'Neill, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I hope you don't have a terrible time at work. I hope you have a good rest of your shift. I have the old Derpy Nagash, was going to paint him up as a statue. I want to get Nagash, and I suspect it will happen sooner rather than later. Actually 24 hours, yes. Have it all built, and do 2,000 points of Sylvaneth in 24 hours. Because I've got the list. It's Drycha Hammerdreth, Spirit of Durthu, and a Tree Lord. It's 20 Dryads, 10 Spite Revenants, and 9 or 12 Kurnoth Hunters, I can't remember. You dropped your crown. Yeah, it's just down there on the floor. So that's one of the things I want to do. So yeah, that's something that we're going to do. But there will be a whole thing that I'll preview about it and the reason why, and because I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun 24 hours to do that, and we'll probably do that over a Saturday or something. So you'll be able to watch me slowly devolve into madness and probably become a tree myself from sitting rigid like this for a little while. But yeah, 24 hours. It was like 46 miniatures, I think, was the final count. Alariel will not be part of that because Alariel deserves a proper video. She deserves probably a 2-part video because it's a massive model and it's beautiful. I love that Alariel model. Got a decent portion of Soul Blight as well. I do need to do a Soul Blight army. I do love the Soul Blight. I painted the new Nagash. Probably took me a collective 24 hours to paint, 11 days total with work and stuff included. Blimey. I mean, that's rapid. That's really good for a Nagash. Bruno is here. Sup, finally back. I'm so pumped because I'll get airbrush for birthday. Any tips? I do have a stream where I learnt how to do airbrushing, and I haven't done it since. And I'm gonna soon go back to it and do and relearn it myself. There was a lot of things that I took away from that, about backwashing and cleaning the airbrush. And I think one of the most important things is getting the pot to shoot your dirty airbrush into. That's the thing. I recommend going and watching that video because it was very funny. You get to see me make all the mistakes that everyone makes when they first start airbrushing, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I didn't know how to talk about that then without rendering an ooh matron from you, Chris. There's no way to talk about it. Right. I believe there was a question about Grey Knight Steel from Mr. Tabletop Ready, who is here. Grey Knight Steel has always confused me. What kind of shading and highlighting do you do as to complement it? Well, I like it as a base for doing a blue steel. And what you don't need to then do, because you've got this kind of bluish purple finish on it, what you can then do is use a much kind of colder blue. So what I do is I use Space Wolves Grey. So I'm just going to grab Space Wolves Grey, and you'll see what I mean when it goes on in just a second. I'll bring both pots. And I also need to undo this. I need a little bit more length in my lead. This one, Ulrak the Drowner. He's a very cool model. Right. Blue steel. Yes, blue steel, Ryan. I watched your Morgan Ra a couple days ago. It looks super sexy. He is a very sexy model. He was very fun to do as well. Right, here we go. Space Wolves Grey, now being used to shade Grey Knight Steel. Here we go. And you'll see it now. It just gets this really lovely finish on it. And because Grey Knights are nice and bright, I've seen them done in a couple of different ways, but if you wanted to leave them this colour, you absolutely could if you get a nice smooth finish. And I've seen it done this way before, quite nice and dark. But I like them nice and bright, so after this we then do a layer up. Space Wolves Grey. A lovely paint when it works. And it so often doesn't. It does things like that. Look at those power armored trousers. Don't they look nice now? Would you layer up with Grey Knight steel again? No. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to layer it up with Iron Hand steel, because Iron Hand steel's just got that much more brightness to it. So that we're keeping the kind of the blue to the recesses, but we're getting a kind of a colder finish on the armor. That's kind of how I like the Grey Knights to look. But you could relayer it with Grey Knight steel. But honestly, I think if you want this kind of tone, this kind of blueness all over it, just doing this and then doing a highlight of Rune Fang, that would absolutely serve you for a really nice Grey Knight recipe. It's nice and quick this way as well. There we go. Oh. Almost missed it. Almost. There we go. Hello, Rez. It's your Grey Knight. I will never understand how your contrasts stay so even and not blotchy. Well, I do have a video on this. No, it's all about kind of, and as I say, I do have a video on this precise thing, but the Warhammer girl, Rachel, it's all about kind of making sure that you're getting that gliding across the surface. The depression of the brush creates the blobs. You also don't want to have too much on your brush. You don't want to have too little on your brush, and you just want to. You're just staining that model like I was just doing there. I said I wasn't keen on all the silver, but that silver, there you go. I mean, like I said, you could just leave it like that. You could just leave it like that. So for the rest of the next stage is to make him nice and bright once again. But you could leave it there as a blue steel. That looks amazing. Just amazing how you paint all of these minis and don't get a burnout and pile of shame. Bruno! There are so many piles of shame in this room. There are so many. There's one over there. There's a cupboard full of shame. There's a cupboard full of shame there. You can see my little in-progress pile here. That's a little pile of shame. Just a little one. Adam is the best and Rich smells. Well, that's... okay. Interesting. Interesting. Rich got a new promotion. You be nice. Be nice to him. At this point, the room is more shame than painting room. It is probably at this point. Hello, Rez. How would you paint Farsight Enclaves red? Right, let me look at Farsight. Let me have a look. Because it's not red, is it? It's... oh, well... this Farsight model I've got in front of me is red. I'm going to see how they recommend doing it, and then I'll be able to give you a Warhipster recommendation. Right, how do they recommend? Farsight Enclaves armor. Corn red, Nuln Oil, Wazdaka red, Squig orange. Really? Corn red? That don't look like corn red to me. Unless they've layered it as Wazdaka. It looks like Blood Angel's red. Well, it looks like Mephiston red to me. See, the picture I've got in front of me is the Games Workshop website, and it's Farsight himself, and it looks the same color as Blood Angel's armor. Maybe a little browner. Maybe you could go for that sort of red. And that sort of red right there is done by Red Gore Scab Red, Blood Angels Red, done. What that is that's Blood Angels Red, followed by a all-over shade of Dark Oath Flesh. It's then highlighted with Evil Sun Scarlet, and then it's got some... in this case, it's Fire Dragon Bright, but you could go Squig Orange over that. Farsight is, dare I say, a more arterial red than Blood Angels. It is. It's very slight difference in tone, but it's definitely not corn red as a base. It's definitely not that. Because corn red would make it Flesh Tearers red, which is fine. Maybe Flesh Tearers red, yeah. You could do Flesh Tearers red all over. What you could do is you could do a 1-to-1 of Flesh Tearers and Contrast Medium all over, or just do Flesh Tearers, whichever one you want to do first. But do either the 1-to-1 all over it, and then do another layer of it, so that you can control how much is coming off your brush to be a little bit more, as Chris says, arterial. I need to build my Farsight and just do it, I think, because I'm looking at this picture right now of Farsight, and it doesn't. On the web store, it doesn't look like the deep red that I thought it would. It looks like a much brighter red. Whereas if I Google Farsight Enclaves, I think a lot of people do it with corn red, which makes it pinkier. Which is fine if it's... Yeah. I guess it depends. Do you want it to be like vibrant or do you want it to be like darker? It really does. I would almost... Orc flesh and Magos purple. That's interesting, Tabletop Ready. This is very nearly dry. We can do some cheeky layers. I'm just going to check the other one. Yeah. It is as I thought. I'll get I think he's in there. I'll get my Farsight out and I'll see if I can figure it out for you. I think doing that right there, Blood Angels red followed by, let me just make 100% certain on that's what I did. Because now I'm second guessing myself. I've got the work file just here. Dark Oath Flesh. Yeah, Blood Angels red followed by Dark Oath Flesh gives you really nice, slightly darker red, but it's not as kind of purpley or like dark as a Khorne red or a Flesh Terrors red would give you. Gives you a really nice finish. How do you go about developing a colour scheme? Do you do test models or just dive straight in and rely on your experience? I was just joking that you managed to make exactly what you need with the most random colours. Sorry, I thought you were giving me a really good one there. There was a brief moment when my Tau recipe was going to be what was it? Oh god, let me mixing ochre. I found it again the other day and I was like, I can't believe I was going to do that. That's right. So you take take Iandan yellow. This is how you make ochre. I mean, this is how you make ochre anyway, right? As a paint. This is how you mix it up. But you get like 2 or 3 parts of Iandan yellow. You then put one part of Blood Angels red into the mix, and you mix it right up, and then you add a touch of Ultramarines blue into it to desaturate it, and then you've got ochre. But it's way too much to put into a video, and I actually came up with something even better, which was the Iandan yellow and Fire Slayer flesh mix. It was too much. It was going to be too much. Rachel Smells, says Reza Prime with a 449. Thank you so much, buddy. Good evening, Gloomspite Noob. Rachel says, Dark Oath is my best friend. Really? The Dark Oath Warclans are your best friend? Interesting. I knew there was something very chaotic about you. When you paint outside live stream, do you just listen to music or like podcasts? I generally have YouTube just playing in the background. I'll obsess over a channel. So at the moment, I'm watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips to see if there's stuff that I can do to kind of maximize my technology as it stands whilst we're doing the fundraiser. Otherwise, I will just listen to music. If I'm going to listen to music, I just open up my iTunes and I just hit shuffle and off we go. He listens to my voice over and over again when he paints. I do also do that. Dave's just finished the contrast steps on a Black Knight Draconis following my tutorial. It works beautifully. Thanks. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Linus is awesome. Linus is awesome. I really like his stuff. I always liked it. And I stopped watching it for a while because I watched a lot of their stuff when I bought my first laptop, trying to kind of figure out what the best parts were. But now that I'm trying to figure out kind of tech solutions to problems that I've got, it's really helping watch him. So I recommend even if you just want a fun channel to watch, check out Linus Tech Tips if that's an interesting one for you to watch. The other one that I also kind of watch a lot of is History Buffs. That's a really great channel to watch stuff on. And occasionally I'll watch stuff like movie recaps, stuff like that. It's just, I like to have a voice on in the background. At the end of the day, don't we all smell? Yes, we do. And thank you very much, Adam, for the 5. That's very kind of you. Love History Buffs. I love it too. I wish he made a video every month. I also listen to 5 Minute 40k. Now, if you, I haven't checked in a while, Adam, but if you could make a playlist with all of your videos on it, I can listen to the playlist all the way through. That's your homework if you haven't already done that. Is there a war going on here? Thank you very much, Rachel, for rich smells. She's one-upping you, buddy. Going to sleep here and check it's late. So when is the next live stream? It should be. Can I smell Josh? If you wish, go ahead. Okay, next stream will definitely be next Wednesday, and well, actually, the next stream should be on Sunday. Actually, with 5 Minute 40k, we'll be doing the stream, similar time. We will also do a stream next Wednesday, and soon will be news soon, where you'll be able to watch me at any time in the day when I try and conquer 2,000 points of Sylvaneth in 24 hours, which is going to be a hell of a time. We might have some guests come on and speak, because I'm sure I'll go horse if I speak for 24 hours on my own. Right, next up, it's Iron Hands Steel time. Two Plus Stuff is a great channel to watch as well, I reckon. Rich will come on with me. Good. But only if I'm naked. Yeah, you can come on if you're naked. Right. For those of you interested in the Grey Knights and not who smells the worst or the best, we're going to be taking some Iron Hand Steel now, and we're just going to be relayering this over the top of the flats of the panels. And we only need to do this over the kind of big ones, because the rest of it will be covered by doing a highlight of some Stormhost Silver once we get to it. So that gives it nice and bright. Like that. And we can bring it round here, there. Do it across there. And we do it across the foot as well. Just like so. I'm using a small layer brush here as well, just for a little bit of extra control. And it just kind of really makes it brushed. Gives it that really kind of nice, shiny. Nice and shiny finish that we're also very fond of. And Rich Squatkin is here. Thank you for pointing that out, Rich. And thank you again for the 449. That's very, very kind of you. I can't believe we've started an arms race here. Naked in a bathtub. We talk about being naked on this stream a lot. Maybe if I made the fundraiser about being able to... afford a hot tub. And fulfill my stream audience's deepest wish. Which is to not ironically see me in a hot tub. Trying to paint. I know, I know. I think the last time I promised it, I said I would do it when we got to 20k, and we're not at 20k yet. Have I got some schmutz on there? Yes, I have. I don't want schmutz on my brush. Go away, schmutz. I've got a bit of a blobbing there and there. It's alright. At least we did it on there. Here we go. Missed this little bit just down here. I will pay attention in a moment. Let me just get this on. So now what we can do, now that we've got the iron hand steel over all of our blue, no we haven't. There we go. So now we've got the iron hand steel over all of our bluish armour. What we then do is we take this iron hand steel and we can block in the areas that are going to be the other silver now. Such as the vents here on the backpack. Like so. And then we've got the areas on the gun and on the thunder hammer as well. So I'm just going to paint in the magazine. And the barrel. I now need to look up what colour a Nemesis Demon Hammer is. Granite Strike Squad. Show me Demon Hammer. Nope. Okay. Oh, I've got an itchy nose. Grey Knight Terminator Squad. You've got a hammer. There we go. Nice 360-degree view. It is a silver hammer. Okay. Okay, looks like we're all on there now. Oh, apart from like that. Marvellous. Oh, he looks lovely. Nice and shiny. Do you know what time will the Emperor's Champion video will be released? Yes, it will be released at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So whatever time that is locally to you. Right, I need to scroll back quite a way because I saw the chat popping off. 10k goal naked hot tub stream. Naked hot tub stream. Crikey. Good lord. Genuine hobby question. If you wanted to convey that a warband is using mostly Bronze Age era technology, how would you paint their metallics? They used a lot of iron, didn't they? Well, they used a lot of bronze. Bronze Age tools. Let's have a look. The Bronze Age. Discovery of how to make bronze from copper and tin revolutionized. Advances in agriculture. Metal objects made of bronze were used as domestic tools and for war. The only military advantage more powerful than bronze weapons was an army outfitted with bronze riding into battle on horseback. Right, yeah, so a lot of bronze. So if we look at the bronze range, I think Castellax bronze and Warplock bronze will be your friend, Chris, mostly for Bronze Age stuff. If everyone donates $4.49, apparently we will get a hot tub stream. I didn't say that. 20k not that far away. It's not that far away. How would you go about doing the armor of a Slaanesh knight? I'm doing a knight for each god, and the abominant looks prime Slaanesh material. Well, the holy colours of Slaanesh are purple, pink, and white, I believe. So as long as you incorporate them somehow into it, you will get a Slaaneshi knight. Doesn't even matter what shade of purple. The holy colours of it are purple and pink. So if you can get those two colours in, you're spot on. I would probably look at maybe a combination of the two, doing like a thinned down Shaiish purple and then a thinned down Volupus pink over the top, and then kind of cutting that with some white would look pretty Slaaneshi. That would look pretty good. How much do we need to donate to not get a hot tub stream? I do not know, Alice. I do not know the question to that. Because there are a lot more people asking for it than people who don't want it. Hunter SWC is here. You okay, dude? All hail George the Legend. All hail George the Legend, indeed. George is an absolute legend. I will be building and painting his stuff very, very soon. Null all over Runelord Brass. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout for some slightly more kind of Bronze Agey weapons. Welcome to Josh Paints in a Bathtub, all pink and wrinkly, coming soon to a channel near you. It's guaranteed at this point now, nothing can stop it. By the way, I have a question that could be an idea for a vid perhaps. I struggle to see why with normal paints and metallics etc. what the difference looks white and black primer undercoat. I don't get base paint part why certain colours are used. That's fair. When you use stuff like a black or a white primer, it does have an effect on the final finish. When you use a black primer, stuff has a little bit more vibrancy to it, whereas when you do stuff over a white primer, it has a lot more brightness to it. So building up from a darker means that your colors will fundamentally be a little bit darker because they've gone over a black base, unless you really layer them up over a black base, they will just have that little bit more kind of darker punch, whereas over a white base they will be a lot brighter, a lot more kind of thingy. Again, it depends how much you layer up stuff. So if you fully layer stuff, there's only going to be a minor difference between the two after like 3 or 4 layers of it, but generally you only need 2 layers to cover with a base or a layer paint. 2, possibly 3. That will be the fundamental difference between the two, is that you'll see only very, very slightly difference, but one will be more vibrant and one will be much brighter. But yes, we could do a video on that. We'll have a look at that. You want to see Josh trying to figure out how to stream in a paddling pool. I don't know if anyone does, but everyone apparently does, so hobby confession: is it bad that my black armor is just prime black with base coat? Nope, that's not bad at all. How I used to do all of my black armor was I sprayed it black and then I'd highlight the black, because I'm a loose cannon. I've not seen a difference with different undercoats, to be honest. The metals are quite thick and cover pretty well. Yeah, I mean, with metals, again, it generally doesn't really matter over like a black or a white primer. Chris, I did a Bronzade coloured bell using Balthazar Gold, Agrax Look Oxide, and Sycorax Bronze Dry Brush. Yes, you did, for tails. And it was a lovely bell. You did an amazing job on that bell. That's not bad, Mr. Boob. That's just being sensible. Yes. What's your thoughts on Duncan's too thin coat paints? I think it's really cool. I really like to get my hands on them. I just, it's not a high priority for me to get my hands on them, but I would really like to give them a go. Also, Duncan doesn't need my support. I need Duncan's support. I'd like to have a go at them though, because I think if he's been heavily involved in the formulating process, they'll be really nice paints. What's the point? Why use a certain colour then? Out of habit or just what they've been told mostly? Yeah, it is kind of about habit. I mean, the reason I would choose a black or a white primer if I was painting with base or layer paints would be basically what's the brightest part of the model. So if I was painting something like, I don't know, let's say Iron Hands, I'd want to prime it black because the majority of it is black, and then I can relayer the little bits that are white to put it up to white. If I was painting something that was kind of had like big white cloaks, for example, but was a silver base, I would want to do the model white. I always kind of I think of what the primary color is and then what the secondary color is. This is how I used to do it. Now I just prime everything grey seal, wraithbone, or push sometimes Corax white. But in that instance, that's how I used to do it. I was like, what is the other main feature of this model? If it's, for example, like I said, a white cloak, then I'm going to prime it white. That sounds smart. My hobby confession is I hate Eldar. Where did that come from? Why are we doing hobby confessions? How's people's entries for Tale of Money Warhipsters going? Mine's going okay. It's going all right. I've got a few more things that's been it. I just started painting. Oh, I missed a moment there. I just started painting. Does anyone know why Josh sometimes uses purple contrast, then just paints it over in black, like for Morgan's and Keeper of Secrets cloak? Yeah, the reason why I do that, buddy, is so that it has a purple tint to it. And it depends on what highlights I'm going to add to it afterwards. So when you look at a model on Games Workshop website, one of the things I generally tend to do when looking at the black details is I look at what the highlight color on it is. That then dictates what my pre-shade will be. And when I was looking at the Morgan Ra photos, there's definitely a purple tint to those highlights. So in order to accent that and make that feel like it's part of the progression, rather than going for like a sort of flat black, doing it from a purple, it means that your black takes on a purplish hint. So that when you then highlight it with Demonette Hide and Slaanesh Grey, it all works together. That being said, it's also, as you appreciate, that your Black Templar really has the punch that you want it to. Because Black Templar, whilst it is a fine paint, when you just use it on its own, it's not often black, it's quite often just a very dark grey. And that's not what a lot of the black that is used on Warhammer models is. Most of the time, the black on Warhammer models is that kind of black. And doing Black Templar straight out of the pot, you are never going to achieve that kind of type of black. So actually using a colour first, putting the black over it will change the properties of the black, but it will also make it black. So for example, in this one, this was blue first. Well, blue first on here, grey first on the soft. Are we back? I believe it dropped out for a minute there. I hope you heard some of my answer, Higgs. But is it all good? Because OBS told me it disconnected just for a second. Someone let me know that you can still see me. Awesome. I'm back. Fab. Right, what's the next colour on this guy? It's probably the black. All that talk about black. It's probably the black. What did I do on this guy? I did use Basilicanum Grey first. Give us a wave. He is senpai. It's very kind of you guys. Hello, Unicorn Glitch. Right, next up, Basilicanum Grey. And what we do with this is we use this over the top of what is going to be the black details, but also we use this to shade at this point, which is crazy, I know. But so what we do here is we just put this Basilicanum Grey in there on the soft detail in the back of his leg. Now there are further highlights to do to the armor, but for now, did I do the belt a different color? No, I didn't. I did do it silver. Just checking. Which would probably mean that that belt just there is also going to be black. Oh, Ross, thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. I have to duck out now, but nice to have you back, Josh. Have a good rest of the stream, guys. That's very, very kind of you. We will. And it was lovely to see you. And it's lovely to be back. Right, that's that bit done. Is there a soft detail in there that we can actually see? Yes, just a tiny one. There, and in the hand as well. Like that. And then we've also got this bit, these vents on the back of the backpack. Are we talking about What are you... Okay. Alright, we're just gonna shade here as well. I'm gonna shade that little cable there. Do 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 do. Oh, Petey Ostrander. That's so very kind of you. Thank you so much. Man, you guys are just the most generous, wonderful, awesome. That is so kind of you. Yes, Ash, I'm back. But I'm back live and kicking. It's lovely to be back. Oh, guys. You spoil me. Don't. I'm going to get emotional. Don't make me do it again. I've been amazed by... I mean, we've done... The amazing generosity of this community is astounding. And like, you guys have been so supportive of... you know, the things that I'm trying to do, and you know, the fundraiser that we're doing at the moment, and trying to just kind of really crank up the content and really improve things. And I mean, even with the amount that we've raised so far, I was able to finally get a license for a bit of software that is enabling me to do this kind of this closer up camera angle that you can see here for today's stream, which I'm thinking is really working. Hot tub stream is going to be a reality. Oh man. No, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Oh, you hurt my heart. Rich bringing the tone back to the gutter. It's what he does, and it's why I love him. He's not allowed to comment unless it's after 9. Yes, we had that. We had to put that in place, didn't we, as a rule? because you were coming on here at 8 o'clock, and you were. It was pre-watershed, and we don't like pre-watershed. You are the Bob Ross of miniature painting. Thank you. I want to do so part of what you can see here, like, okay, so you see with this setup here behind me now, the Ash, thank you so much for the 10. I'm so glad to be back. You guys are helping me kick ass. Hot tub stream while painting Iden SD. Good lord. What was I explaining? I was explaining this. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this camera just a little bit bigger just for a moment so you can see a little bit more about what we've got going on back here. So, hello everybody. This is the new painting station, right? So we've got a new corner desk in here. And what this allows me to do is, before I was painting on a really big thick, which is basically the desk that I'm on now. There's a really big thick rectangular desk, right? And one of the big problems with that is that it basically, I only had room and capacity for one camera. So it was, as this is now, the camera up the top here, straight down shot of what I was painting, and you can see like that kind of thing, and that's absolutely fine. But what I wanted to do is to be able to mount cameras in different positions, right? So as you can see, this arm up here, that's the top-down shot, and so that's not going away anywhere. But what we can also do now is I can, from this mount here, I can attach a second camera, which means, if you can see it just there, that's the palette. So it means now what we'll be able to do is, again, and this is dependent on the fundraiser, and we're trying to secure a second camera, and I do everything with a phone, which is I'm contemplating just getting a second phone if I can, because I can do ProRes 4K 60 FPS footage on that, right? But what I can do is I can do the top down shot there. I can also do a shot just there over the top of the palette, so you'll be able to see stuff as I mix it, as and when I mix it. That would be really useful. I'll be able to do things like that, and we'll be able to kind of cut those shots together. And then in this corner here, I can also attach a camera to this mount should I need to, where I can do kind of more pieces to camera, or I can show you more like up here kind of techniques. So for example, if we're doing things like from behind, like the miniature, how to reach difficult places, it doesn't just have to be a top-down shot, because there's stuff that I can't do with a top-down shot. If I wanted to show you, for example, like how to get in underneath a like a cloak, for example, that's something that I have to do from this angle. And before, the back of that shot would have been really horrible. So now, in this corner, everything's just gonna hopefully elevate if I can secure the second camera, basically. The other part as well is that once all of this is painted and done, is to put one of the computers that I'm on now, put it there so that I can then monitor the shots, so I can make sure that they're coming out properly. So you'll see less of me kind of drifting off down to the bottom, I hope, because I'm not perfect. It also means I can run a microphone from here and record the audio as I'm talking, so it won't kind of crash out a lot, all this kind of stuff. So that is the plan. That is the plan. That's what we're trying to raise the money for, is to do that. Part of that is, the big expense of that is to upgrade the computer setup, because then it means I can actually render all that footage in 4K, which means I can do, as I'm doing now, I mean, I'm not rendered in 4K for this stream because I don't have the processing power for it, but what I can do is I can put the camera up here and then use the telephoto lens to be 3 times closer, so that you can get a much closer shot like that. But if it was in 4K, I'd be able to put the camera even higher, and then I would be able to digitally zoom it. So not use the digital zoom, but like be able to clip the footage closer, so that you'll get really high quality material for streams and also for footage when I do the filming. So that's part one. That's the easy part. The hard part is the camera and the other computer. That's the hardest bit. But that is right there. That is a huge improvement anyway. Similarly, because I mount everything from the desk, because space is at a premium in here. Because I mount everything from the desk, I was painting in kind of like this kind of narrow corridor. So, you know, having to... Most of the time I was painting like that. Because I had my mounts like either side of where I was doing stuff. Whereas now, because I can put stuff on the back here, because of this desk, and in that corner, a lot of the stuff is in that corner. So for example, that's an extra light there for if I'm going to doing piece to camera stuff, which I know people really like the piece to camera stuff, where I can talk about things like how to do priming and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and we can do kind of face to face shots a little bit more. So yeah, there's a lot of improvement has already happened. We've just got that last kind of bit to really see the smash up, but there's a lot of plans. There's a huge amount of plans afoot. And now we shall minimize my face just a little bit. There we go. Sounds very technical, Josh. I barely know how to use a pen. It is all very technical, and I'm learning a lot. And you can learn more about this kind of stuff by watching Linus Tech Tips, LTT. And I would do his, you know, lttstore.com thing, but, you know, it's not my place to advertise his store. Let's have more face and less miniature. We can have a little bit more face. It's just things like being able to do a... This sounds like such a first world problem, but on my older setup, on the rectangular desk, there's so many things like basically doing product reviews and recommendations. So stuff that I find invaluable. Can we have a dedicated beard cam? Yeah. Yeah, we'll be able to do that with if the fundraiser is successful. We'll be able to do a dedicated beard cam at all times. Do you have a guide on transfers and how to apply them? I've done it as part of videos, so I believe I did it in the Outriders video, and I also did it in how to paint vehicles, but I want to do a dedicated how to do transfers video, because that is a thing that I know I haven't done, and it's often always as part of something, because quite often I use like the sculpted stuff rather than use transfers myself. If you want to check out one of those videos, again, how to paint Blood Angels Outriders, I believe is where I do it. That is a guide on how I do it. But I think it was also in that video how to use contrast paints on vehicles. I also did it in there, but again, a dedicated transfers guide is a really good idea. I'm going to add that one to this. We've had two. On your Instagram, could you post a picture of your Deathwatch Watchmaster? No! I hate him! I don't know where he is. He's either in this cupboard or that cupboard. He's in one of them. Do you have a guide on eyes? Because that is my mortal enemy to be vanquished. I would trade my entire Skaven army to consistently get eyes right. Ooh, we could do that. How to paint eyes. So how to paint eyes is a very interesting point on this one. So how to paint eyes is only possible in any kind of meaningful quality if I can do it in 4K. And it's not because of the quality of the video, as I've kind of explained a couple of times, but just because it's in 4K doesn't mean that it's just going to be high quality. The point of 4K is it means I can get much closer in the pixels. So for example, at the moment, I would have to paint like this, and you get this problem with focusing. But right there, that's the money shot for eyes. But that for me isn't close enough, right? That's not close enough. Really, you want to be here, but obviously there's problems with focusing on that. So if I just open up my little camo studio, there we go. So this for me. No, that's zoom. Where is it? Focus. Manual focus. That's just getting worse. Interesting. So we would have to get there kind of like that. And we'd have to zoom. There we go. So that right there is how close I'd have to get in 4K. But that's all pixelated and horrible to do eyes in a meaningful way. That's not good enough for the video. And that's because I'm zoomed in. When I'm editing it, you'll really notice it. Let's come back out with the zoom. But yeah, eyes. There's a couple of different ways you can do eyes. Eyes are a funny one. Eyes, I think, you know, there's a number of different guides on how to do it, but like you could, for example, and I've changed my recipe throughout my time. You could paint the whole thing white and then put a dot of black in it, or you can do what I have done a lot more of recently, and I actually prefer it this way, is to do black all over it and then put a dot of a off-white in the corners, depending on where you want the model to look. So for example, if you're going that way, you could have the eyes going like that. If you put a dot of white here and a dot of white in there, it makes it a lot easier to do. But I can definitely, it's on the list, how to paint eyes. On your Instagram, could you post a picture? Oh, we've done that. We've got lots of suggestions tonight, which is very useful. But yes, like I was talking about, like with the tech upgrade, this is stuff that I can do a lot easier. Do you have a guide on how not to spill contrast paint? Thanks, I need it. Yes, I do. Buy a Citadel paint pot holder. Or get a desk clamp. You know those things you used to use in wood tech? Get a desk clamp and just hold the pot paint there, tighten it up. Not too tight because you'll explode it everywhere. And then just pop the lid off, and then jobs are good on. That paint pot's not going anywhere. That would be a cool little gizmo, wouldn't it? Just a little grabby hand that holds the paint pot, but above the desk. Can you imagine that? That you clamp to the desk, and then, because like this right here, this is my phone rant. I'll show it to you. So if there's anyone out there who has you know, a machine shop where they can make products, right? If you could get something like this that just holds your paint pot like this above the desk, that would be cool. I'd be down with that. Any plans for painting Pedro Cantor? When he rotates back in, sure. I unfortunately didn't get hold of him in time because he rotated out. Unless somebody has a spare one they want to send me, and then I can do a Pedro. I'd like to. He's a cool dude. I just use some blue tack on the bottom. Blue tack would work. That's the low effort one. That's the cheap low effort one. Which is probably the best solution rather than some nonsense bit of kit like this to hold your paint pot. But yeah, that's what I use to mount the camera, the phone camera. Now I have to slot it back in, which is always a bit of an adventure. But whilst I'm over here, I can grab a new paint. We need some gold. Oh, and we do need to do the black as well. That's what we were doing before. There'll be a new Primaris one by the end of the year. A new Primaris paint pot holder by the end of the year. Where are you, Black Templar? There you are. Right. We'll apply the Black Templar now. To answer your question, Fred, we're doing a little fundraiser at the moment on the channel to try and get a big tech upgrade. I've got a GoFundMe link, which I should add to the description of this video actually. But yeah, what we're trying to do is trying to raise some money to kind of fix some technical problems and secure the future of the channel. And so far, people have been incredibly generous. And I've got some plans to do kind of some really cool stuff. One of the things that I talked about earlier that I said I was going to talk about a little bit later is I have a lot of models. A lot of models. I don't know if you guys know this. More models than anyone can shake a stick at. And I would like to share those models with you guys. And so one of the things I'm planning to do is, and I've the pile of plastic that I showed earlier and said we'll talk about that later, that's a secret right now. That is part of the fundraiser. So I've got what is essentially a 1500 point Space Marine army on sprue behind me, and I would really like you guys to be within a chance to get hold of it. Now, normally I would do this as a giveaway. However, as I said, we are trying to raise a bit of cash at the moment. So, what I'm going to do, and it will come out very soon, and I'll do a video explaining this and where you can do it and this, that, and the other. We're going to be doing a raffle for it, which is a very good suggestion from somebody on that Warhipster Needs Your Help video that I put out very recently. So we're going to do a raffle for it. So tickets will be cheap. But yeah, so 1500 point Space Marine army. That's going to be something that we're going to be doing very, very soon. So do keep an eye out for it, because it will happen. You'll be in with your chance to win that. And just get to kind of share some of the coming to the channel soon. A Primaris Pedro would be lovely. If you could own any vehicle in 40k, what would you own? Land Raider. Yeah, just like Tabletop Ready said, Land Raider, obviously. Land Raider 100% of the time. All day, every day. There's no question there. Cold Star Battlesuit because Iron Man. Fair enough. We're on a Marvel trip tonight. Captain America. Iron Man. A Titan wouldn't be road legal. I don't think you need to worry about being road legal if you're rocking a Battle Titan. I once had this exact debate with somebody who was insistent on it being uh, a Wraith Knight, and I was like, well, that's all cool and all, but like, you have to have a twin for that, right? That's part of the history of them. He's like, no. I was like, I'm pretty sure you do. There was then a very long, lengthy debate about whether or not you needed to be a twin to pilot a Wraith Knight, and I can't remember what we ended up settling on, so somebody do settle that one for me again. That's just a normal book. Thank you for hanging out, Thursdays. Oh, I have overlapped it a little bit. Couldn't tell then. Nearly there. I think that's all the gold. No, it's not. It's very close to being all the gold. It is not quite all the gold. Oh, thank you very much for being here, Tabletop Ready. There we go. That is all the gold. What time is it? It is 10 o'clock. I want to see when someone make Pacific Rim style mechs for 40k and fight massive Tyranids. Now that is something I would pay to see. There we go. So we didn't quite finish him. We did quite a fair bit in 2 hours. So we'll finish him next time we stream, which, Adam, if you're still here, Sunday, we'll do. I will finish him off. If not, we'll do it next Wednesday. He's only what? So 1, 2, 3 colours away from being finished. Well, for a battle ready standard, he would need some highlights and stuff, but we can do that next time. So yes, on the Sunday show with Adam, I will finish off the Grey Knight next on Sunday. That generally the Sunday show happens on a Sunday. Who'd have thunk? But yes, so as it is 10 o'clock, we are going to end there. But it is so nice to be back. It is so nice to see you all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this triumphant return, and do keep an eye out for that raffle. It's coming very, very soon. And do keep an eye out for the 24-hour stream. We're going to be doing that as well in a couple of weeks' time. It's only 2 or 3 weeks' time. That'll be a lot of fun. 24 hours of non-stop hipster, full-on beard cam, as requested. No, we won't do that. But Have a good evening, Hip. I will. Thank you very much, sir. And you have a good evening yourself, and have a good evening, all of you. You are amazing. You are my favourite people in the world. My lovely, lovely community. And none of this can happen without any of you. So, none of this can happen without any of you. This is this is going to be amazing. The future is bright. The future is orange. The future is Warhipster and bearded. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all very, very soon on Sunday, because it's Wednesday today. I will see you on Sunday. There will be a painting video tomorrow. There'll be something on Friday, I hope. And there'll be something on Saturday as well. And then I will see you for the live hobby hangout. Same Warhipster time, same Warhipster channel. Have a good night, everybody. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Happy wargaming, ladies and gentlemen.